Shouldn't be. There's, if you were nitpicking it, probably in this ballpark would be some of that primary xylem. And the primary phloem is actually separated and sat on the edge, but you're not concerned with the primary tissues on a woody dicot.
Yeah.
What page are you on, Melody? Yeah, you can mark that out. That's a good catch.
Which one?
On 55, where it's got this line diagram of secondary growth, it's got a notation of primary xylem down on the bottom.
Yes.
Get rid of that. Is it here? Yes. Can you recognize it? Not easily. Is it testable? Absolutely not.
So you wouldn't ask about a woody dicot?
The only thing I might ask you that's primary is what is all this? This is the primary core. This is a remnant of primary tissue. That's it.
Okay, so you only refer to the tip, you wouldn't refer to the outer ring of the primary xylem?
That's a good catch. Thank you. That's the sort of thing that you're looking at late at night going, wait a minute. Okay, nice and fuzzy. Sorry about that. How many seasons we looking at here, y'all?
4.
Yeah, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this is real fuzzy. We're going to get there's a better view of this. So if this is, what is this, y'all, again? Secondary xylem. Right at the edge, what is that going to be then? Vascular cambium, making secondary xylem to the inside and secondary phloem to the outside. You don't have a good enough view to really see. How many meristems produce secondary growth? 2. So there's the vascular cambium right at the edge. It's always really easy to see. The other one, the cork cambium, is going to be somewhere in this ballpark. Now some of you are going, really? That's awfully fuzzy. Exactly. So let's look at a different slide. Okay, so again, notice your primary core. This is only one season. This is spring wood into summer wood. And then you're right at this edge. Here's your vascular cambium making secondary xylem. And then the secondary phloem gets organized in these triangular bits. And you see the phloem kind of scattered through here. So you see these nice triangles. You guys with me?
Wait, where's the
The phloem is here, the thin walls, and you see them scattered here. Now you do see a little bit of sclerenchyma scattered among them, giving them these edges and these looks. As far as I'm concerned, call all of this secondary phloem. Secondary xylem, vascular cambium, secondary phloem. You guys with me? Now, let's find our cork cambium. Can you see it? All right, now let me ask you this. What's the cork cambium make, y'all?
Cork.
Cork
Oh, cork.
and cortex. Cork, living or dead?
Dead.
Cortex?
Living.
Okay, so you want to find the border between the cells that have that overly thickened secondary cell wall with cells that are apparently alive. Okay, so somewhere, and it's hard to see. You got that? Can you see the dead stuff transitioning into the living stuff? The point at which it transitions would be your cork cambium. You guys with me? So, secondary phloem, secondary xylem, produced by cork, cortex, produced by. That's when I was drawing those rings for you.
What's
So,
the elevator?
okay. Let's edit this. There are some alternate terms, phalangen and phalanderm, that I this year have decided that I'm no longer going to use, even though I know them. Phylloderm is cortex.
It's the cortex.
Yeah, there's,
So we mark fellow.
yeah, mark the phylloderm out. There are two alternate terms, phylogen and phylloderm, and there's some confusing usage, and this time around I've decided to just run with cork cambium and cork and cortex. Okay, so that rogue word in there, phylloderm, mark it out and add cortex. So the cork cambium produces cork and cortex, and you don't care about that term phylloderm. It's on the woody dicot on the outline. All right, so what else do we have on here? Now notice the last blurb on the woody dicot says age of stem. How can you tell the age of the stem? If I got a stem,
Oh, the amount of space between the slayer buds.
what are you looking for?
The ring.
Exactly. So those were called terminal bud scars. There's a quick little reference on the end of the woody dicot. Look back at 52. Remember the very first thing we did was we looked at sticks. Okay, we looked at sticks. So if you're given a stick, you're looking for those little circular scars, the terminal bud scar. And you just and you count them. So if there are two terminal bud scars, you got a stick in your hand. There are two terminal bud scars. The thing's 3 years old. Right? Because you would have 1 year, 2 year, 3rd year in process.
So leaf scar is something?
And the leaf scars were
Bud scale.
the abscission, and you got bud scales, and you've got the apical bud, axillary buds. Sorry, not apical buds, axillary buds. Don't forget about a stick. You might see a stick on there once. I can't remember if there are pictures of sticks in here. Okay, more of the same. Now this one I like a lot better. Can you see your vascular cambium?
Yes.
Secondary phloem, secondary xylem. Can you see your cork cambium?
Yeah.
Right on the edge. So that makes this,
Cork.
and that makes this. Okay. Am I killing you yet? Don't you love botany? Yes. Slightly out of focus. Same thing. Up close and personal. Now you can really see your vascular cambium, secondary phloem, secondary xylem. Right on the edge, cork cambium with the cork and the cortex. Very repetitive. All right. Do you see them?
Resin depths.
Do you see them?
Yes.
Everything else here is the same. But the little rings tell you what you're looking at. Notice the secondary phloem's a bit more disorganized than the gymnosperm, but the concepts are the same. You can't really, the edge is kind of going off. So you can see the vascular cambium. You know that this is secondary xylem, this is secondary phloem. You know this is a gymnosperm because of the resin ducts. So much like you saw the same thing in leaves, when you see those little rings in there, don't skip them. They're very telling. And if I'm asking you tissues, it's the same. Woody dicots, woody gymnosperms, the tissues are the same. If you're picking which one it is, that's where you're going to miss it. So don't forget about those resin
So what
ducts.
is this called?
This is a woody gymnosperm. So it's all about resin ducts. You see the rings, you see those little resin duct rings. You see the same thing here, yes? Rings, very open rings. Now this one's a little bit fuzzy. But again, you can see that vascular cambium. You know, this is secondary xylem, secondary phloem. You get out towards the edge. You see the dead stuff, that's the cork. Right at the transitional point.